tell my kid in my house,
listening
like,
to Working
he's
Class
like, your
Patriot
kid fully
live,
believes everything you tell them is the truth, you know.
and
And
they're
it was
speaking
only
about
when my
Jesus
kid got a little
Christ,
older that I was
which
like, oh, I
the
wish I
Bible
raised
isn't being
them
taught
a
in
little more
schools, but
Chinese or like Indian, because they are like
they
so
brought it
serious
up,
about
so
this
I'm
kid
going to
will have
just
an education.
comment
Like,
about
they
it.
will know fucking everything.
Excuse the language.
So yeah, but I think
Sorry.
like you could give me 10 kids and I could run the place like Fagin. You know what I mean? Like 10 kids, you can decide whether those kids are good or bad people. You can teach 10 kids to go and steal in the streets, you know?
Teach 10 kids.
So
Right.
yeah, I think it's a dangerous thing to be in charge of deciding the morals that is forced upon a kid in a place where if they don't go to school, they're going to get
It's called a
arrested.
church. Churches are meant to teach morals, you know.
It's funny.
If you don't want to go to church,
all right, mate.
you end up like that.
The vicar's coming round this afternoon, yeah, and I'm sitting here listening to you. That I'm like, yeah, man, yeah. Well, I know it's written by a man. We all know it's written by a man, don't we?
It's written by the Holy Spirit, by the hand of
and the Battle of Troy
righteous
that happened many
men,
years
the
ago,
Bible.
yeah. Do you agree on that?
Who what?
The Battle of Troy.
I've not even, I couldn't agree on that now because I've never even looked at that part of history.
Well, I'm saying it goes a lot further back than Jesus. That's what I'm trying to.
The guy's saying that
emulate.
there's been prophets before Jesus, but he hasn't read the Bible.
Yeah, I've become a Christian.
And the fact that
like,
all the prophets were speaking about Jesus.
24.
He's the fulfillment of prophecy. He is the Messiah.
Recently, yeah?
Yeah.
It's first and second comings. That's what we need to study. You know, but they don't want to know about it.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And but as soon as I turned it like that, everything went wrong. Like I had to have operations and stuff on my leg and that. Yeah. I was like, fucking hell, why didn't the water bubble when I got baptised? Do you know what I mean? What's going on here? So I sort of turned away from the church, but my cleaner is part of the church, and I didn't. The last time I went, this guy was this new guy. He was doing the New Lord's Prayer, yeah, and I didn't enjoy it because they changed it, you know. And I thought, well, what?
The New Lord's Prayer.
Change, input, output of the book, yeah. So, I mean, if they're still changing it up today,
that'd be the Catholic one.
I mean, of course,
Pope changed it, perhaps.
So you're currently a Christian. You've gone back.
Yeah, I'm still a bit persecuted, yeah.
what's the vicar coming round for?
Well, he's a new guy. It's not like I got through this through like a thing called Alpha. Have you heard of Alpha?
No, Alpha course. It's run by the Vatican.
It's a course basically to sort of like you know.
Pope gives a message at the end.
But I went to Alpha, and I always wanted a bit because I said to my parents, I said, "How come you didn't get us you know, thinking, oh, we thought we'd leave it to you." Well, I knew that was a lie. So I thought, yeah, this come round, and I did it. But yeah, everything went wrong. You know, so I just thought I'd give you my input. Plus the vicar's coming round later.
Great. How do you think we solve the problem that we're in nowadays, though?
What? The whole thing, we're fucked. Sorry about language.
No.
It's but no, we're done, man. We're done. I'm just gonna stay behind the door, you know what I mean?
Lock yourself in it.
Yeah, man. That's it, bro.
Back here now. We've just lost, yeah? It's over.
Amazon deliveries.
Yeah, that's it, right.
Through the letterbox.
So interesting to hear like,
how do we solve the problem, mate? Oh no, we're done. It's over. Back in. Just give it.
yeah, we're done. Too late. Too late.
My honesty.
Oh, great.
If he was here, I thought I'd put him on the panel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd be glad.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. So how you think we should go? Yeah, because we all need these.
Let's find out if he's a liberal lefty. Let's get his opinions.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't even know. Like I say, they did the Lord's Prayer different, and I just thought, no. exactly what you were saying about the changing, this, that, and the other is forever changing. Now they don't want you to read the Old Testament. They go straight to the New Testament. Yeah.
I think if you're interested in that sort of thing, you've got to try and read as much as possible. I think.
I would agree with that.
But like I say, like when he comes around, I'm going to talk to him about it. But yeah, fucking hell, I've just had operation after operation since it's got, and since I ain't been back to church, things have been a bit better, you know.
He's going to tell you it's all a test. It's God testing how much you believe.
You know, there's
Rather sad.
Story I remember.
The church is so bad that
Some bloke, you know, turned God, he lost his family, everything, plagued, a lot. Yeah, and he still believed in God, and I think that's what
they're probably not preaching the gospel either.
Yeah,
like 90% of the churches, they're not even preaching the gospel.
I'm still a Christian.
There's no focus on Jesus Christ.
The rest of it.
To be fair, that is the concept of Christianity, right? We are here to be tested. No one's guaranteed. This life is not meant to be paradise. You know, paradise is guaranteed in the next. So,
but we have milk and honey. You know, we have milk and honey. So
I think we've got. Well, I think we're already living in paradise. It's just we bastardised it and messed it up.
Yeah. I think we need to put now on bottom of his trainers because we're all walking in different directions.
Some of us.
There's somebody wrote, you joined the spiritual war, immediately got attacked. You should have seen that one coming. So the point is that the church is not really teaching people about spiritual warfare either. If they're not actually teaching the Lord's Prayer properly, if it's a different prayer they say now, which apparently it is in some places. I'm not really sure about that one. I've never heard of that before, but yeah.
Start walking at some point.
Just new stuff every day.
Yeah, beautiful planet that we live in. All the things that's in this planet. There's enough for all of us, but yet we're all fighting against each other because the greedy, evil bastards have got it that way.
Well, it's all if you narrowed it down all the way back, it's all to do with greed.
Yeah.
All to do with greed. Everybody wants.
It's one of the deadly sins, isn't it? I believe covetousness is a really common sin. You know, everybody wants to do better than the next guy. They don't want to help their neighbor. Rather, they just want to do better than their neighbor, and then, you know, just feel better about themselves in the world. That's basically how the country is, or how the world is, I guess. I'm not saying every country's like that, but yeah.
Wants to be the richest person.
Sorry?
Everybody wants to be the richest person. That's the end of it.
Yeah, it might just be a human. Yeah, but it might just be a human condition, though. Definitely, like, you could change everybody in power right now, bring in a whole new group of people, and you could find potentially these people might end up going in the same directions.
Exactly. So what does that tell us? It means that Satan is really running the world system, and if you know, his gatekeepers or his workers leave tomorrow and maybe leave all the riches, which is highly unlikely, he'll just recruit new guys just to take over, and they'll just keep going with it. You know, that's what they do.
There's the people before, because unfortunately some people are corrupt, some people are evil, some people are wicked. It might just be the human condition. Some people will always start fights. So obviously, there's always.
So again, this is about spiritual warfare. The Apostle Paul said that we fight not against flesh and blood. So that means that the people who are being used by Satan, yes, certainly we should be responsible to pray about them, even pray for them to come to the Lord and repent. But the most important thing is that we do spiritual warfare, and we're actually tackling principalities and powers in the Holy Spirit. And God does send his angels in these occasions to fight against principalities and powers, to bind them, And again, this is, people don't want to know anything about this. Obviously, it's a very scary thing to think that this is really what the Apostle Paul is actually teaching or talking about. Most Christians in the world don't want a part of it. I guess it's only the people who have got nothing to lose, I guess, or people who really have a fire in them that, you know, want to take part in that spiritual warfare.
It's going to be conflict. No matter what, you can live in the most peaceful, wonderful society, and one individual will just be that type of person who just wants to start
This
trouble.
is live,
just
by the
wants
way.
to take what someone else has got.
Yeah, but that's kind of where we got to go back to. Though, isn't it? We got back to this, the vast,
Working class
majority
patriot.
of people that want to live a normal, productive, fulfilling life, rather than being in war-torn countries or into slavery, debauchery, and all these other horrible sides of this human psyche that there is. We should get back to where people should get along and be peaceful.
That's
You know,
right.
'cause the majority of people
So
are.
we do need the
Wasn't Jesus Christ?
peaceful
Like now,
Yeah.
they've started charging
ideals,
parents for
outlooks,
letting their kids hold
ideas,
a gun.
even religions.
So a kid is getting 10 years
It's
in
not
prison for shooting her
peaceful,
teacher,
it's not
but her
good for
mum's getting
society.
5 years because she let her round the gun in the first place. You know, like there's no parental
Got to take
responsibility
accountability for your
anymore.
own- yeah, responsibility and accountability for your own actions.
Yeah, like now parents say like, oh, that kid has a bad attitude. You know, it's not about them lacking as a parent. They're like, oh, that one's just an arsehole. Like, what the fuck? You're talking about a 4-year-old. You know, like we're at a point where we're blaming little kids for their behaviour rather than saying to adults, like, why are you making this kid like this?
That's a good point.
All comes back to the moral thing, doesn't it? Where we've lost, a lot of people have lost the moral compass and the right and wrong things to do. It's just yeah. I mean, some of the kids and the way that some of the mums and dads speak, you've got no surprise that the kids are going to turn out in a certain way. You know,
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that seems to be. I'm only 54 years old, but I can see it. They go in shops, no please, no thank you, no nothing. They barely talk. They go, you know, but it is.
Yeah.
It's like,
One of my neighbours is on her 6th kid, right? She doesn't like her fucking kids. She doesn't, right? The only food that comes to that house is for Iceland, which means, you know, like, how well are these kids eating? That's chicken nugget land. So then she wanted another house, right? Like, so she is having another kid to force the council into giving her another house. Her and her boyfriend argue, take drugs, but see when they're on the school run, I hear that woman say to her kid, shut the fuck up, you little cunt. You're doing my fucking nothing. That's how a grown woman speaks to all these children. Like, and I'm not allowed to go outside and tell her, don't fucking talk to them
Reality.
like that.
Keep it real. We're
Whereas
keeping it real
It should
here.
be like that. It should be that every mother in this street is like, don't talk to your fucking kids like that or you're going to get a slap. Like, that's disgusting, you know? And yeah, that's just how she goes.
How much of a role do you think IQ plays in all of this? Do you think big?
Yeah.
Some people have no
Obviously,
kids.
fluoride in the water, probably.
No, I just mean in general, like some people who are low of intelligence do take like criminality. There's a correlation between criminality and intelligence. I'm not giving people a way out or an excuse either, but some people are just raised by stupid people who just raise more stupid people. I know, like, no offense to anybody, but some people just start fucking. There's knuckles dragging Neanderthals. Some people like literally like.
You've also got the thing where you've got young kids having kids so they can get somewhere to live. Because they get to a certain age and they've got no job. No, they have children and they'll get put somewhere the majority of the time. And you're having kids that are not really developed. I mean, being a mum and a dad and trying to bring up kids is no easy task. It's not. You know,
I can remember being outside washing the car, and this 8-year-old girl come down the street, and you say, you know, be polite. You say, hey, oh, you're right, and you're like, what are you going to be when you're older? And she's like, oh, I'm just going to have loads of kids, so I don't have to work. Oh, I fell for fucking feet. I couldn't believe it.
That's a socialist
Yeah, you can
model that
live in this
everybody wants to
country,
vote
have
for.
a kid,
apparently.
get a house, and never work a day in your life until you collect a pension. Like, you know, and that's not an immigration problem. That is a like born and bred here problem. that is something that
And another thing, all they have to say is like, my kid's got ADHD and things like that. They get all sorts of money.
oh, we're in the money. Yeah, you get
and
to
parents
school.
will use that as an advantage just for themselves
Exactly.
at that time. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Seen it
exactly.
loads, mate, honestly.
It's
Seen it
like
See,
the
loads.
when
kid-
my kid realised that, he said he would go and take the autism test. He was like, if we get more money, I'll tell them. I'll tell them for you, mum.
Yeah. But you've
So,
got,
yeah,
you've got
it's all like
people,
game.
you've got people that have got that mindset where they feel okay with the fact that everybody else has got to pay into a system, into the kitty. So when hard times do come along, you're looked after, and then they think it's all right just to go through their entire life with not contributing absolutely nothing, and that's not right. So, and that's our own people doing that, as well as the rest that we've got coming here taking all the other services. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I'm actually of the opinion though that I think the way they stigmatise people having large families, I think that is a part of our problem. I think it's a price worth paying. I'd rather have someone banging out loads of kids and claiming benefits. I know this sounds like a fucked up concept, and then having a whole fucking other group of people being imported in who are going to end up just claiming benefits anyway. So it's like
But they're doing that. They're doing that because once their child is born in this country, you know the crack. That's it.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Even that, you could still have a big family. Mother stays at home, dad goes out and works, and if they need a top up back going, that's fair enough. Because them kids are at school most of the time anyway. So, so even if you had a big family, I mean that's what happened to me when I was younger. I mean I've got there's 5 of us kids, and my dad went out to work. Well, even the roles swapped at some point, but generally one of them were out working.
You have to.
Yeah, you have
Well,
to.
that's
do it.
part of what changed it.
But that's not what happens now, is it? They say they have more than 2 or 3 kids, and they say they've both got to stop at home now. But the kids are at school most of the time.
Yeah.
But then, so I'm under like the thing where, so see when they started in the 50s and they're like, yeah, women want to work and da da da.
That was pushed on them.
Yeah, that I think that was like a thing about taxes. I don't think it was about women wanting to actually work. But then that made men be worth less money. Because men used to be able to get 2 cars, a house, holidays, whatever the fuck you like, use were worth more money. And then women made it, well, you know, it's like that supply and demand thing. So these are all worth less because there's more people working. But then that means, you know, so in Scotland, your child will be in nursery from 3 to 5. There's no 2 fucking ways about it. It's against the law not to. Then when they're in school, it's against the law not to. So
yeah,
how can, you know, but I think mothers being at work is what made families smaller, because that's, like, you can't have a job, raise kids, make dinner, you know, that's too much on anyone's plate.
Yeah, because back in the day, the man would earn enough money to keep his family, buy a house, and all the rest of it just off the man's wages. But they sold it as being, you know, for the feminists or the women, saying that you can have a career, you can be independent, you can do all these things. But it was in that guise. But yeah, you're right. Like you said, it was for the money.
Yeah, it was for taxes. It was for having control over the future generations. Because I wouldn't even, I'm not of the thing where everyone keeps saying, oh, we need more kids in this country, we need more people to have more kids. Like, what we need is the parents who are parents to be better parents. We need to look after the kids who already exist. Like, we're not coping with what we have. Why the fuck are we adding more? Like, I don't think that should be encouraged. I think big families should only be encouraged in people who are actually looking after their children. Yeah, like, there's women who have kids taken off them and they get to have another one. Like, our system is totally fucked up. Like,
I agree with what you're saying, but the decline in our birth rate is a problem though. It's because it's something we have to address, because if we don't, then it's like the solution is they bring in more people because we're not having children at replacement rate, so then you don't have people, you're not generating enough taxpayers to take care of the people that are retiring. So they're pumping in more people that can then fill that gap. So
yeah, but what are they? Where's the jobs for all these people?
And they're really talking about the system now.
For having the wing mirror knocked off. Fuck.
Yeah, massively. Yeah, that's it. Hell of a lot of people have got that. Nottingham's going that way though. By the time the next census, we're going to be minority in our own city. It's mad.
I saw Charlie Veach.
That's an interesting point. I think it's went from 80%. In fact, I think it's 80% Caucasian in the UK. But the last census, I think last year was 75%, and that's not even the natives. So that was only just a few years difference, and you're talking about 5% difference. So it's really going a certain way very quickly.
And I walk around in Nottingham.
Yeah.
All he kept saying was, it's a shit up round here. I was thinking it when he was saying it. Yeah, he was going on, I don't like it round here. I think you should watch it. It was only about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, it's quite funny.
Yeah.
Charlie Veach gets a
Well,
thumbs
it's
up,
like
man.
a shithole that's not got Victorian buildings in it. That's
Yeah.
Charlie Veach. If it's not got Victorian buildings in it, it's a shithole. You can,
Yeah.
you can have,
But
Pretty fun.
I mean, if you look at it, look at some of them, the old buildings that we used to have and the architecture. It was fucking beautiful, mate. It was a sight to behold. And look what you see now. Most little towns, and they all look the same. They've all got the same setup. 25 barbers.
25 barbers.
Your foreign, your African.
Yeah,
foreign
that's about right.
Your Indian fucking fish markets and. You know, they all look the same.
Every little town and village in the UK has got about
drab-looking fucking places.
5 to 10
Well, a lot of
barbers
those
in the
things
town.
just go
You
into
know,
disrepair because they say it's a grade 1 listed building. So the sooner seat fall down than somebody put
Rather than
a different type of brick put on it.
yeah.
Freaking
Well,
ludicrous.
there's a few buildings in Glasgow that everyone in Glasgow knows that it was the council that either put a hole in the roof for the building to, be destroyed by water, or they just set the building on fire.
they
Like,
just
no
stuck
one
a
is
hole.
any two ways about it, you
Okay,
know.
yeah. So a lot of dubious fires happen in Glasgow.
Well, in Glasgow, all the money going in is for
Insurance.
university. So we just keep building student accommodation. Like, there's a whole quarter of the
Basically what
city
it
is just going to be university lands. But they're the ones that are bringing the money in, so why wouldn't you build them a nice bus stop? Whereas I live in the poor side, and if we break stuff, it's just going to be broken.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, universities. Let's have more universities so we can indoctrinate more young people into a train.
I mean, they're actually still teaching that we come from monkeys in universities as well.
Yeah, that was the plan. Like,
They're
a
still
guy
doing
sat
it,
down
you know.
60 years ago,
They
and
haven't
he was
stopped
like,
doing
how do we take over these kids' minds? We have to teach the teachers that are teaching the kids to be fucking mental. So I think our generation has, like, our morals have went astray because we just think everything's funny. You know, people were talking about, like, oh, this guy's a pervert, and we're like, oh, what a wrongin'. You know, like, we're past the point of being shocked by things.
Well, society has been downgraded, isn't it? It starts from the education system, people's morals, what they used to have, and the way that they used to think things were right and wrong. The stuff that they watch on that poison box TV, that is like married at first
The
sight
alpha
and all
wave
that
box,
sort of
idiot
absolute
box.
garbage.
I tell you, Stefan,
Put your
I'll tell you
mind
one of the
into
biggest problems is there's too many
receive
young
mode.
boys being educated by third wave feminists in schools.
Exactly, mate.
They're being demasculated.
Yeah,
They're being,
I guess so.
they're being demasculated. They're being taught to be a man is a bad thing. There's been such a war raised on young boys, mainly young white boys, and it's horrendous.
So basically, the indigenous population of the UK are taught by feminists to be more effeminate, while you're getting like fighting age men coming in from Muslim countries that just want to steal, kill, and destroy. Quite a nice scenario, man.
That's what they've done.
Quite a good scenario.
Fact, isn't it? The white young English or
It's
British
kind of
boys,
calculated
they're
when you
most
think.
feminist.
Yeah, they're
Like,
very
somebody's
told
thought
to
about
drive now,
this.
They're told to ring an ambulance rather than Dad, you say, get back on it.
That's it. Weakness is being instilled in them. Yeah, that's it.
Look at the
But
park.
then, could you imagine, right? So you're all, you know, white men sat there. Could you imagine being in a school where you're sat in a classroom with 3 other white kids and that's it, and you're heavily outnumbered, and your teacher's standing there saying that kid's got a harder life than you? Like, honestly, my kid went through school. I know other kids that did. What they went through since COVID
So you
was
get like
such hardcore indoctrination
minority,
that it's
basically a minority native class, and the teachers teaching that people from other countries have got a harder life than you have, and you got to feel grateful for the great life that you have, and you know it's just pretty backward, let's say. It's
freaking
crazy.
unreal, you know. So they were telling them like the white man is fucking terrible, but then on top of that, they were like, Black Lives Matter. Let's talk about that forever. That was like an American thing. It was nothing to do with us. There's teachers that were talking about Donald Trump as if like our own fucking government isn't being psycho, and then they added all the sex talk onto it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we are so perverted that we didn't even defend children who were being perverted, who have like
Yeah.
pedophilic teachers running around schools. Like, there's a teacher in Glasgow had an OnlyFans. Her punishment was you can't be a teacher for 2 years. It was the kids that grassed her up for the OnlyFans. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's in the paper. Like, you're putting women like that on a fucking pedestal. That's disgusting to me. Like, we need to bring back shame. So
Okay,
much
well,
shame.
We need
What
to bring
chance do we
back.
get the Bonnie Blues going about in a van?
But we need to bring back an education. We need to bring back education back to a system of education. Because
Yeah,
it's not.
not indoctrination.
Yeah,
Not
'cause that's all it is.
indoctrination. We need education.
And generation after generation, it don't take too many years to get masses of people being taught a completely warped mindset. Things that are not actually true, that have been brainwashed into a way of thinking. And they don't do it through the comprehensive level, it goes all the way up. Go, look at the
Well,
pictures
Stefan, look at adolescence. That painted a picture of a young white boy who is being represented as being the danger and the concern, when in reality a large proportion of the violence that is going on is not being enacted by young white boys. But he was put up as the poster boy as being the face of misogyny. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah,
There
well,
is
as
an
long as you're
agenda
told you
going
can't
on.
hit a girl,
Most
even if she
definitely.
hits you, you can't hit her. I thought you were all raised getting told that, you know, and now kids are in school and they're coming across Muslim boys, and the Muslim boys are like, nah, we can grab these girls, we can touch these girls, like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's going to be some boys that are like, fuck it, I'm going to be a Muslim, because then I get to be the king of the world.
My lad was sent home for a broken ruler, yet there was a kid in his school that identified as a cat, and they had cat litter trays down for him. This is no freaking lie.
You know.
Right, and they sent him home. So me or his mother had to come home from work, right, to sort this situation out with him over a broken ruler. Yet there's a kid in the class that sits on the teacher's knee purring and has cat litter trays down. What kind of fuck is this world
For
coming
me,
That is fucked up. What the fuck?
That's not that is not right in any way, shape, or form. And I'd like to have a debate with somebody to explain the logic of it to me, and say that is right. That child should be acting in that way in a classroom full of other kids, and trying to normalise something like that. That's fucking hell, mate.
They're turning young men into fucking femboys. It's fucking it's fucked.
Mentally deranged. They're going to turn them into young people that are not right in the head. It's like the gay agenda with the LGBTQ transformers, men in disguise. You know, these are probably just going to turn out being gay or lesbian, but because they've got the mind virus on them, they've made them think that they can actually be something that they're never going to be, and they actually believe it. So, you know, it's all you know, their little tactics of being able to diminish us.
One of my mates lad went to school in a pair of shorts, so they sent him home. The next day, and he decided this himself that the kid, he said, right, I'm going in a skirt see for send me home, and they kept him there all day.
Exactly. That's what I'm
So
saying.
it makes no sense.
Yeah, because
If anyone has a son in high school, you just have to tell them, once you're in trouble, tell them your name's Jenny. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Why are we allowing this thing to happen?
yeah.
The teachers are not.
Third wave feminists, mate, we've hijacked the school system. It's being run by far leftist third wave feminists. They're indoctrinating our children. They're spreading this absolute virus everywhere.
Not fit for purpose anymore. The education
Yeah.
system is gone, well and truly gone, and not just comprehensive education, which I think is just a second-rate way of teaching kids. Because you look at the ones that go on and do better in life, they all have the classical education, and then you look at the universities and the indoctrination through that. It's just they know that kids' minds are the ones to get the core of their matter started. If you can indoctrinate the young, they take it on into adulthood, and that's your next generations of lefty woke people.
So one of the best pieces of advice I heard from Jordan Peterson, right? He was talking about when you're in education and, you know, like to do the job you want to do, you need the piece of paper, regardless of whether we believe in that system or not. You're not becoming anything without the piece of paper. But he was like, just write the right answer. Like, don't fight them, just write the right answer. And once you're powerful enough, then you can fight the system. But if you never become part of it, then you don't get to affect change.
You're not allowed to question anything, are you, in this comprehensive education? It's all compliance. You're not allowed to think outside the box. You've got to
put your hand up for the right answer.
Yeah.
Well, this is the problem with it all, isn't it? If you're against it, you're classified as something, whether it's a far right or whatever. If you go against it and don't agree with it,
So obviously, some people are planning the system, the world system, to go in a certain way. And what Jordan Peterson's saying is that flow along with the agenda up until a certain point, and then you can, maybe once you reach some kind of level, you can start influencing people. It's an interesting tactic. Not everybody can do that.
you're the problem, and you're the one that's labelled.
Well,
It's
see,
like
that's
some
where
kind
I
of
fought against
phobia.
it.
Yeah, it's designed like that on purpose. To
They really do the gaslight. Oh, yeah, you got a phobia in regards to Islam. It's like, really?
There was a thing that I watched about how easily that young people conform. Right? They went into this room and they were, I think it was 5 of them. They sat down. They saw a picture on the board and you had to raise your arm. Right? 4 of them raised it. I think that it showed the picture of raising your right arm, but the other 4 raised their left arm. And in the end, the person looking, you could see him looking and thinking, well, that's your right arm you're meant to be lifting. But because the other 4 did, eventually the other one lifted its left arm, knowing full well it was the right arm. So
The guy's talking about social experimentation in schools. You know, people being taught to think like sheep, just follow the one in front. You're not actually taught to think for yourself. That's what education should be, but it isn't. It's just like write the right answer. To be honest with you, look at what all the subjects get. You get all your qualifications. What does it actually change in the world? Absolutely nothing. The only thing that you can change in the world is if you don't know, but by becoming a Christian, you're inviting a different kingdom, the kingdom of heaven, into your life, and that's the only thing that can change the people and situations around you. It's when you become born again. Even the Jews, Jesus told them the man must be born again. It doesn't matter if you're religious or whatever you are. You're just not really affecting anything. unless you're actually giving your life to Christ. That's the reality of it. People just call that, oh well, that's whatever names they have for that, but that's the only way the society is going to change, is that, you know, people coming to the Lord in groups, in you know, little cells, prayer cells, house groups perhaps. That is the only way to change the environment in the world around us, and to learn about spiritual warfare as well. Like people like Henry Groover explained about spiritual warfare. You get about 4, 5, 6 groups of Christians praying for 2 or 3 things a week, and see how the Lord, see how the Holy Spirit, the kingdom of God is going to move on those situations. That's the only way that things are going to change in the world.
So they sort of they make them conform.
But of course, society rejects
in
Christianity
fucked
mostly.
up ways, I tell you. It was bizarre to see, because you can see the boy's face going, no, that's wrong, that's wrong. I'm not going to put my left arm up. So he was thinking, I'm going to put my right arm, but then in the end he folded and just put his left arm up instead of the right arm. So, you know, it's the way that they do things in school is very bizarre. It's not school, is it? It's not. It's just not what it says on the tin.
Yeah, kids are coming home every day and their parents are having to be like, listen, your teacher's a fucking idiot. Like, that's not real.
I don't know if I could send my children, if my kids were young now, I just don't think I could do it. I'd have to homeschool them. I don't think I could, I wouldn't be able to live with myself knowing that they're getting indoctrinated. It's not education, is it?
Yeah, the person who talks to children about sex in school isn't actually trained to talk about sex at all. Like, they're not a fucking scientist. They've not sat in a class. I know someone personally, right? And this person, like, they can't even have an adult relationship healthily. Do you know what I mean? Like, they know that they should not be the person talking to kids about this. And they were just given the manual. And it was like, here, you're going to have to read this book with these kids. And this is like a good Catholic man. He got to page 14, and page 14 was talking about like masturbation and dildos and all these kind of things. And he was like, what the fuck? And I was like, I would have to walk out. I would have to tell everyone, like, do you know what they're telling me to tell your children? We've never been so morally corrupt to speak to children that way. You know, and tell them, like, it's okay to be gay and it's okay to be this, and if you want to be a cat, you can. Like, but that is what they're teaching them, and it's not a professional in any capacity. You know, it could be an English teacher, a music teacher.
They injecting them with drugs and all sorts.
Yeah, because it's an experiment.
Yeah. It's not just that they're teaching it. I mean, I've got nothing against any of these people, whether it's religious beliefs or your own sexuality. Don't force it on me. That's all I ask. Don't try and force it on me.
Tell me that you're a woman when you're
Well,
not.
they are forcing it,
And that's
basically,
whether it's down to
in a backhanded kind of way. I mean,
religious
they're
or stuff like that, you know. I've not read the Quran. I've not read the Bible. I'm not particularly.
forcing one or two religions on society, and they're trying to phase out, obviously, Christianity, and they're always obviously against
and I can disagree with you. That's fine.
the Jewish community, I
It
guess.
don't make you right or me right. We don't need to fight over it neither.
No, that's right. It's a bit like the missionary earlier on when he was saying that it's the truth, but it comes to a point where, yeah, that's fair enough. That's what it's the belief system. That's your truth. That's what you believe. It's not what I believe, but it's what you believe. But you cannot push your idea of truth onto me when I don't believe
Well,
it.
this is a guy that has been to a church before, so he's kind of at sea regarding faith, you know.
Fair enough, if that's what you want to believe.
Yeah,
But you tell me it's not a trick or a sleight of hand or.
Yeah, the Bible's got good teachings. It's got good things to take out of it, but you don't have to believe that Jesus died on the cross for every man.
Well, that's essential if you're going to be a real Christian.
That's just one part of what may have happened.
So he's saying it's okay to be a nominal Christian,
You know,
To kind of
the-
support
the
Christianity,
times
but
before
not to actually
Christianity
believe that
and stuff,
Jesus died for your sin.
and humanity lived.
And he's
thrived.
complaining about spiritual
So,
warfare, you know.
You know,
That's the fundamentals of the Christian
my-
faith. You got to
my
believe that the
belief
blood of
system
Christ paid
in a
for your
book that
sin,
was written 2000
and the
years ago
fights
that could have
against
been
spiritual
misinterpreted or
darkness
doctored
and powers
in
around
other
us, which
ways
they're
from the
describing.
original,
The blood of
documents
Jesus Christ is the
or
only thing that
or
can
the truth
truly
of the
not
matter.
just redeem our souls,
You're never gonna
but
know
actually,
the
yes,
truth.
influence society. It's the
It's
gospel.
an argument nobody
The
will ever
gospel
win.
is the only thing that can do it.
No.
Yeah, if we were all sitting watching Jesus turn water into wine, we would all have a completely different perspective
pissed.
on that. You know, when you're like an eyewitness, like,
Oh yeah,
all
you
see
must
it
have a
different
point.
thing.
Yeah, if we were there, but because we weren't there, we shouldn't believe. But Jesus said, "Blessed are those that haven't seen those things and yet believe," because the Bible is the Word of God. It's a true record, a true account of not just Jesus Christ, but godly men and what happened in history. And there was an attorney in America, one of the most successful, from Harvard University, and he wasn't a believer. He was an atheist, and he was asked by a Christian, "Can you actually prove the existence of Jesus Christ?" And he said, "I'll take up that challenge." And he discovered that there's more information, there's more written information about Jesus Christ in the public record, in a historical record, than there was about Julius Caesar. So there's more evidence of the existence of Jesus Christ than Julius Caesar. So that's the first point. The second point is it the biblical Christ? And that's where faith comes in. But Pontius Pilate likened Jesus Christ to a god. He wasn't quite sure, like the Romans believed in different gods. Pontius Pilate himself likened Christ to a god. He didn't know that he was actually God in the flesh at that time. We don't really know if Pontius Pilate actually became a Christian in later years, but that was his eyewitness evidence of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, sure.
So
Yeah.
how many arguments did the people write in the books have where they're like, don't put that in?
Exactly. If it was written by a man, there's a high.
Well, read the
chance
accounts,
that
guys.
it's been
That's why we got to
manipulated
educate
in
ourselves.
some
Read the Bible,
way,
read
shape,
all the
or form.
accounts instead of just spouting
Hold
out
on, let me
opinions.
just reply to this in the comments. So
Opinions.
Scooby D2 says, Jesus probably. Let's look it up.
Can't even
Jesus
speak.
probably wasn't white. Sorry for upsetting you. Go lay down for a while.
Oh,
Is anyone
I'm
here
upset.
upset?
Oh, we're all upset.
Someone said that Jesus wasn't white.
Oh, spoiled my day.
Nobody was.
Everybody's just laughing at that because it's so ridiculous, you know. Who cares?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
Jesus
a
was
Middle
not
Eastern
born.
Jewish man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I
Yeah.
just like the fact that someone was apparently walking around being like, listen, we can't just murder people because we're mad. We can't, you know, like, can we have some sort of humanity?
I believe, this is what I believe. I believe before Jesus, there was many prophets before him.
Well, like as we said, all the prophets
And,
spoke
you
of
know,
Jesus Christ.
civilization's gone
It's a
back
guy
a lot
that's
longer
meant to
than
have went
what
to a
we've
church.
been
What are they
taught
teaching
anyway.
him in there? Nothing.
So, you know, the Sumerians, 5,000 years ago. Well, what about the ones before that then? You know, so
They ain't
where do you
preaching the
draw
gospel,
line
that's
when
for
it comes
sure.
to your belief system on what is actual factual. You know,
Well, read all the
written in
accounts,
stone,
Mr. Man,
literally,
Mr. Stefan.
a lot of the
You gotta read them all, man.
stuff that took 12,000 years plus that they found, I like the pyramids.
Can't even read the Bible.
Saying that
And
the
he's saying that, you know,
Egyptians
he's
yeah, they built
disagreeing or
some
whatever
pyramids,
with
but the
stuff.
ones that they built are
Read
all
the Bible,
collapsed
man.
or falling apart. What about the Giza
Good
pyramids?
King James Bible.
They did not build them pyramids. It was a civilization long ago. So what about the prophets or the teachings of them times? So, like I say, where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, what I tell my kid in my house.
Well, I think the real argument is it's not important who actually built the pyramids. It's more important, did they actually use technology, and why is that technology not with us today? And if it is, then where is it? Because all the scientists that get really useful technology, free energy and anti-gravity technology, they're all killed. They're all silenced, you know. So that's the real point. The real point is that the science and the technology is there, but they don't want it for some reason. I don't know why, but they do not want humanity to have it right now. Maybe just for control purposes. I'm not really sure.
House, like he's gonna like your kid fully believes everything you tell them is the truth, you know. And it was only when my kid got a little older that I was like, oh, I wish I raised them a little more Chinese or like Indian, because they are like so serious about this kid will have an education, like he'll know fucking everything.
I don't know.
So yeah, but I think
Sorry.
like you could give me 10 kids and I could run the place like Fagin. You know what I mean? Like 10 kids, you can decide whether those kids are good or bad people. You can teach 10 kids to go and steal in the streets, you know? So yeah, I think it's a dangerous thing to be in charge of deciding the morals that.
Well, I believe it's illegal in America to own a crow as a pet. Why is that? Because you can teach them to steal. You can teach them to steal money.
Is forced upon a kid in a place where
Yeah.
if they don't go to
Hello,
school,
mate.
they're going to get
Nice to meet
arrested.
you. Nice to meet you, mate.
Yeah.
It's funny.
How's it go?
All right, mate. I had to join in because like the vicar's coming round this afternoon, yeah. And I'm sitting here listening to you. That I'm like, yeah, man, yeah. Well, I know it's written by man. We all know it's written by man, don't we?
By the
We can
inspiration
agree
of the
on that.
Holy Spirit,
Yeah.
of course. He
And
just
Battle
leaves
of
that little
Troy,
bit out,
that happened
you know.
many years ago, yeah.
Leaves that little bit out.
Do you agree on that?
Who what?
The Battle of Troy.
I've not even, I couldn't agree on that now because I've never even looked at that part of history.
Well, I'm saying it goes a lot further back than Jesus. That's what I'm trying to emulate.
Are you a Christian?
I
Are
think
you a
Troy
Christian
was
yourself?
ancient name
I
for
became
London.
Christian, like,
And I don't know if it was the Romans that attacked London and was
24.
called Troy before that. I think it was.
Recently, yeah.
And then it was
Yeah.
actually a
But,
What do you mean
female
age
general
24, the year 2024?
that
2024,
pushed them
yeah.
out
Right, okay.
eventually.
And but as soon as I turned like that, everything went wrong.
I think
Like,
it's
I had to have
Booker, her name was.
operations and
Booker.
stuff on my leg and that. Yeah. I was
Double
like,
check that.
Fucking hell, why didn't the water bubble when I got baptised? Do you know what I mean? What's going on here? So I sort of turned away from the church, but my cleaner,
Your cleaner. Yeah.
is part of the
Yeah.
church, and I didn't. The last time I went, this guy was
Let's see.
this new guy. He was doing the New Lord's Prayer, yeah, and I didn't enjoy it because they changed it, you know. And I thought, well, what? It's your point. Change, input, output of the book, yeah. So I mean, if they're still changing it up today, these days, I mean, of course it's been changed, isn't it?
So you're currently a Christian. You've gone back.
Unfortunately, yeah, I'm still a bit persecuted, yeah.
What's the vicar coming round for?
Well, he's a new guy. It's not like I
Right.
got through this through like a thing called Alpha. Have you heard of Alpha?
No.
It's a course.
We discussed this
to
before.
Sort of like, you know, if you're interested or not. But I went to Alpha, and I always want.
So,
But the women from other cultures aren't told to get a job. They're not told that. They're
No,
raised
no.
being told,
Most-
you will be
yeah.
a wife, you're for giving birth. Like, so do you know, right? See if an Indian woman has her period, they don't let her cook. Like, the men are like, oh no, don't let that shit near her fucking food. Like, that is how low they think of these women. Like,
That's just a religious thing that when a woman's having her period, she's unclean. And that's in the Bible as well. So that she basically she gets a holiday for about three days or so, which is a good thing, I think, you know. But yeah.
Jewish men don't let their wives sleep in the same bed when they have their period. Like, you know, so they all have customs and cultures where other cultures, apart from, you know, that white British, we were the only ones that were told, oh, you know, you're a bad bitch, get out there, get it, like, you make your money, girl. Everyone else is told, you can be a wife, you can be a mother, that's your place in the world. Like, if they want a job, they're told, are you crazy? Like, you're not fucking going out there.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
part
The
of their
overwhelming
plan.
majority of Muslim women aren't in employment. But at the same time, the husband isn't keeping them. She's also on the dole or something. She's claiming
Yeah.
another form of benefit while she's not working. So they're not doing it
Exactly.
like the tradition. They're gaming the system. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you
And
something now,
with
they
the
know how to
children-
play that
with the
system
children,
massively.
And
Oh,
the
just a bit.
foreigners that are having the children, no, as soon as they have the children, that's it. They can't be kicked out. Because their child is now a British citizen. So it's a
Yeah.
double whammy.
Yeah, there's about 1,000 laws we have to change.
Yeah.
Well, this is the
lot-
problem. We've progressed in things, but never changed the law. So you know, and even down to technology as such, you know, we've progressed that fast. We've you know, I think there's a law still out there that if you've got a bow and arrow, you can shoot somebody off the wall in Hull or something like that. I think it's still there. You get done nowadays, but apparently the law's still there. If you stand on the wall in York with a bow and arrow, you can shoot a Scots person. That's a law that still
Hey.
exists.
Yeah, but we know that.
Imagine all this nonsense we've had to go through.
Over at least the last 30
All
years,
these laws that the
they're
English
not
people
doing
have
it
made
for the
against
good of the
non-English
are
people.
they?
No.
So you know,
You know, and now they're under attack.
the
We're all
laws
under
that come
attack,
out
and
of
we
that-
got to have
that-
solidarity. We got to stand
that-
together.
are generally
You know.
not good for us. So,
Well, we've got people who's not even elected to go in there by public.
you know,
And these laws get passed to the Lord and then come back to government.
well, the House
For
of
me, the
Commons,
great
how many Commons?
for me, the greatest issue that faces, I gotta be honest, is us becoming a minority in our own countries. I gotta be honest with that. And I'm not suggesting the answer to that is ethno-nationalism or fucking running around saying how Hitler was a fucking great guy or something, because those people are nuts. But we genuinely are going to, on the path that we're on, going to become a minority. And some people are minorities already in the cities that they're living in, which is, like I said, Nottingham, by the time the next census comes around, we're going to be, white British people will be a minority in the city of Nottingham. So this shit is happening, and it's happening quick.
Yeah, that's why we need
Yeah,
to get
but-
rid. We need to get rid of the government quick, sharpish, right?
So if we tell 100,000 women, you need to have a kid right fucking now, we're outnumbered. That kid is only born in like 9 months, right? So
No,
that's
I
the next
agree.
year before
I
that
agree.
kid is
Having
born.
some,
You can't
yeah,
fight,
having
they
some
can't
kind of
walk.
birthing. Yeah, no, I agree. Like having some kind of birthing war is like, yeah, I don't understand that. Yeah, definitely, I think certain pitfalls. I'm not saying what we
Yeah, we're going
need
to have
is.
people that
yeah.
drain the system and they say, well, everyone said that I should have more kids, so I'm now just having 1 million kids. Like, we're just going to have white British people that are, you know, like, I don't think that's going to help us either. We need more people put into the system, not just taken from it.
The thing is, with having kids, they're not cheap. They cost a lot of money.
I think there's a bit they're missing. We're talking about people that wasn't born here. I think Masood was born here, wasn't she?
Yeah, but her mum and dad are not from English heritage.
Oh, so you would exclude anybody? Okay.
I will go back to the original.
Would you
It's
put
there for a reason.
That would mean we would have a two-tier society. I can't. It's the same.
Would you? If that was the case, how far would you go back with this? How many generations of people would you go back? We're saying you can't be in power because you've not been in this country for, or your granddad or your great-granddad. How far would you go back? That's the thing.
It was put there for the
One
reason
generation,
why
I guess.
It was put there because you've got Shamama Mahmood, who's got a conflict of interest. She's not a true of English heritage. Pakistani mum and dad.
Yeah, but Stefan, I'm not saying. Yeah, but Stefan, I'm not saying what you're saying is right or wrong. What I'm saying is it would create a two-tier society, which means people who are not ethnically British, that means they would be excluded from all forms of political life.
I'm not saying that they couldn't be represented in some way, shape or form, but when it comes to the English Constitution and our land, no, we shouldn't. We should go back to that and void it. That's what we should do. Because then you could never have a conflict of interest.
Because I see Stefan's point, because it quite easily, if you've got enough power, people in the power of government, you could quite easily introduce Sharia law.
Exactly.
Easily.
And that's why it was put in
point
there.
to it.
That's why it was put in there. It states that's why it was put in there.
and that's not really tradition, British tradition. You know, I meant into Sharia law, the man can say, right, I'm divorcing you with no court case, no papers, no nothing, because they treat their women a lot different. But yet, if a woman wants to divorce a man, they have to go through hundreds of different courts or whatever, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but excluding someone on the basis of where the family was wouldn't necessarily stop the Muslim thing, because obviously Keir Starmer tomorrow could convert to Islam. Do you know what I mean? So I understand where you're coming from, and that's not necessarily a foolproof strategy
guys.
to
Just
stop
going to leave it there.
the implementation of Islam.
But look
Yeah,
what
it should
Rishi
be about
Sunak
what
did.
they're
Look what
standing
Rishi
for.
Sunak did when he was Prime Minister. How many Indians that came over to England?
I think I'd be more comfortable with maybe potentially